Well, now it's open to discussion. Is there a mic?
Professor Bandyopadhyay, we looked for the cure that you said the nation should be looking for. I know only the problem. At this ripe old age in my life, I do realize today the importance of water, which I never appreciated in my life. Dr. Ramaswamy Iyer, I've always reckoned him to be the Bhishma Pitamaha of India's water management. It's a wonderful exercise. The three presentations which were made us wiser. Now, I have only one question to ask and one problem to narrate. Professor Rudra, Dr. Panda, Dr. Roshmu. There is a common strand, as Professor Bandyopadhyay explained in the three presentations. There is no dispute about it. The problem is Dr. Panda, we call it urbanization, privatization of the Mahanadi. This is a natural phenomenon of any society, any country, as I perceive, looking for economic progress, development. As citizens of the country, we want industry to come. There is no escape. People have to migrate from villages. Urbanization is a world phenomenon. Is there any escape? I don't perceive there is an escape. In our own private life, we would like to have powerhouses, we'd like to have automobiles, in spite of the fact we are conscious that it will lead to pollution, it lead to climate problems, but it is the natural aspiration as a citizen that I want to have all this. Having been part of the region, Cuttack, Tatlagarh, Hirakud, Jharsuguda, Talcher, having seen it very intimately myself, having seen the Mahanadi first time in 1953 and seeing it again in 2007, I saw the entire difference and appreciate. And I only want to ask that if there is no escape, and it's a natural phenomenon when 1.2 billion people would like to go to this path, then we have to think how exactly the cure can be found, and that is what Professor Bandyopadhyay suggested. Now, the problems are well appreciated. The one river, the Ganga, we took up at the highest level. As I understand, hundreds of crores of rupees have gone by. One generation has passed. The prime ministers, 3 of them have been involved very actively, including the present one. 4 years ago, he announced that he will now think in terms of another organization, as a typical bureaucratic fashion of which I seem to understand a little. Nothing, it is sheer tokenism. Now, I don't want to be cynical, but at the same time, when we are sitting here and discussing, understanding and appreciating the problem, the main question is, where exactly do we move from here to wherever we must go? And that is not forthcoming. There is no shortage of funds. There is no shortage of policy, and if Professor Bandyopadhyay permits me, there is no dearth of experts who will be able to tell us about science and about management. But yet, it does not happen. Now, only one question that I said I would like to ask is, why and how and what exactly needs to be done. All this seminar, all this research, all this body of wonderful papers that we are able to come up with really serve no purpose. And to say that there should be, we call it privatization, industrialization, urbanization, this is, I don't think there is an escape. And if European river systems, in spite of all these things, have survived, how is it that in spite of all the appreciation of the problem on our part, we are allowing the problems to become worse every day? It is not stemming the tide, it is becoming worse every day. Now, what exactly needs to be done as an individual, as a government, as an academic body? I think that is what is required to be done. And I think we have to take it out of the realm of the government. Government will not do. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, with the best of intentions, I don't think anything will come out of this authority that has been made. So, Dr. Ramaswamy Iyer, whenever he arranges the second seminar, next seminar, I think that must be what exactly needs to be done, how it can be done, who will do it, and how we can involve the community. I think you had referred the community involvement is not there, and this is what I want to do. Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Omkar Mittal. I am engaged in some way in the Ganga issues. Now this series which Dr. Professor Ramaswamy ran has been very interesting from our perspective, because sometimes last year June we also got involved into having series of meetings on Ganga. And while this was going on, this series was going on living rivers and dying rivers. And we realized that a lot of people in Ganga movement are so much touchy on Ganga issues that you could build dams elsewhere and other things elsewhere, power plants elsewhere, don't touch the Ganga. So it was very humbling to know that other rivers are also, in a serious concern. I just want to make 2 points on today's deliberations. And as I understand these things, Professor Jayanto said something on the historical perspective. As we understand, a lot of these interventions which have come on these rivers have come out of demand for solving certain problems. So we were trying to solve some problem, and these problems have been solved. And the new problems which have cropped up were not really anticipated. So it is in this perspective we should look at the problems which have come. And unless and until we understand that what is this new problem created, we can't really find a solution. So I think it is very pertinent, at least for people like me, to understand what exactly is the problem now. Now, one question which I particularly want to make a reference, in order to sort of really find the solution, that this kind of wide reference to make that we have adopted the European solutions, superimpose the European solutions to our river management. You see, particularly in reference to Ganga, the eastern Yamuna Canal, for example, was already in existence in 1818 when it was redone by the Britishers. And when Colonel Probe Kotle did the Ganga Canal, the Upper Ganga Canal in 1842, and the college was established in Roorkee. At that time, the modern science of hydrology had not even come into existence. And if somebody looks at his writings, he had a wonderful understanding of the Ganga River basin. He tried to make a very measured intervention to the Ganga at Haridwar Pine for a very limited purpose to create this canal. So I'm really wondering that, the later interventions have come in phases, and there is no such thing, whatever I could understand, that a kind of a European mindset which was preset was superimposed onto the Indian rivers. So I was just wondering whether Professor Jayant Bandyopadhyay would like to say something more on that, whether that is the right analysis of the problems which we are facing. If that is not the right analysis, we can't find the right solution. Thank you very much.
Regarding West Bengal river, I'm just willing to know what are the sources of arsenic deposition in groundwater and fluorides deposition in the groundwater. The first thing. Second thing, related to Ganga flow from top to the bottom. See, even the source of Ganga, or Ganga begins from Devprayag. Before that, it's Bhagirathi and Alaknanda. And Alaknanda, numbers of tunnels and dams constructions are going on, which are flowing directly to the river with sediments and deposition. That deposition are making another feature. Even if you see the Patna, even decade before Bas Ghat is the cremation place, now shifted 5.5 kilometers in another direction, within decade. Now people have to walk 5.5 kilometers to go for Ganga water to cremate the dead body. So these kinds of the depositions or siltations are taking place in the even Bihar. And it's going to create another kinds of havoc of flood. Little water which will come to the river and will spread very fast to the other sides. So there's two problems, which one is my major question is to the source of fluorides and continuation of arsenic. What are the sources? This I am willing to ask this.